Welcome to the Equilibrium Report. Today is November 3rd, 2025. We're a month well into the shutdown, and nothing's happening yet. No solutions have been proposed. Each side's holding out, doing a Mexican standoff, holding the American people hostage in the middle, creating this chaos. They always have to create the chaos, and they can bring in the order. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem that causes the reaction, which then justifies the solution. I'm going to have a couple segments today, hopefully done, but in this one, we're going to discuss red wealth versus blue wealth. Who's really carrying who, and what can be done to solve the current problems. Let's talk about the myth that red states are the ones holding up America's economy. Because when you look at the numbers, it's actually the opposite. Blue states, the ones often criticized for being too liberal or too dependent, are the ones generating the bulk of the nation's wealth. California, New York, Massachusetts, and Washington together make up nearly half of the entire U.S. GDP. If you pull just California out of the equation, it would still rank among the top 5 economies in the world, right next to Germany and Japan. Now here's where things flip. Despite producing most of the country's wealth, blue states actually get less back in federal aid. For every dollar they send to Washington, they get about 90 cents in return. Meanwhile, most red states get more than that, more than they put in, sometimes a lot more. Mississippi, Alabama, West Virginia, Arkansas, many of them take in $1.25 to $1.50 for every dollar they send out. That means the places that talk the most about self-reliance are actually being subsidized by the ones they call socialists. And when it comes to welfare or assistance programs, food aid, housing, Medicaid, the biggest users per capita are also in the red states. It's not because the people there are lazy. It's because those states tend to have lower wages, less access to health care, and fewer job protections. It's not a political failure. It's an economic design, meaning it's not a failure, it's going as designed. See, throughout the world we have the whole structure, and then, we have structures within the structure, right? So the world and civilization itself, since the dawn of time, the civilization has relied on exploiting labor and resources. In order to do that, they always have to have a group of people that can be exploited with tolerance. And this was done through Sumeria up till now. And so what we see are the shuffling of those structures, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, here's my thought. If we're so divided on how government should help people, why not let each side build the system they believe in? Let each state choose what they're going to do, like they do with other things. Blue states have the economic weight and infrastructure to run their own programs, universal health care, stronger safety nets, higher minimum wages. And red states can go their own way, smaller government, lower taxes, minimal intervention, supposedly. Let the policies compete in real time, let results speak louder than ideology, and let the people get what they want, right? And then they'll see. That's the only way, and then people will really see what it is and what it does, and they'll probably change their mind, one way or the other. So at the end of the day, the data shows one side is already paying for both and getting lectured for it. This is where my argument comes in, that what's happening now with the shutdown is being done deliberately, and both sides are complicit in it, because we've had several years and opportunities to fix these problems. And as I've stated in another video, the blue states could create their own food stamp programs and their own universal health care through casino, lottery, marijuana, alcohol, and other incomes that they bring in. And California being the 5th economy in the world by itself, what is their excuse for not doing this already? Why have they not done this already? So that's my argument with that. Why are they holding out, and why have they been complicit in causing the greedflation that we're in? And that's what I'm going to talk about in the next segment. But it can be done, it could have been done, it could be done So instead of continuing what hasn't been working and what people still weren't satisfied with at all, people act like before this that they loved the healthcare system that they had. Like, people were complaining about it and wanting it to change still. So why would we keep subsidizing that and kicking it down the road to deal with in another few years? That's the problem. The problem with our politics is it's basically we just keep kicking problems down the road and taking on credit. We're just like a bad habit spender. So in the next segment, I'm going to talk about that some more, and we'll go from there. This is the Equilibrium Report, where numbers meet nuance. Thanks for watching.
You are watching the Equilibrium Report. Stay free, stay true, stay defiant.